So in this video, we'll go over how the scripting differences between how you script for a trigger versus a collider. Now, right now we have a collider that's on a box and a trigger that's also on a box, but you might be thinking, hey, it doesn't really make sense for you to have an object that you can just pass through, especially if it's like, why would you be able to pass through it? So one thing that I actually use triggers for the most is just to create a trigger zone. So if I create an empty game object, and I can name this trigger zone, what I can do is I can add a box collider to it, and then make that box collider kind of fit to wherever I want to create a zone that kind of activates in my project. So instead of using something like distance to an object, I can create a trigger zone. And what I can do is I can kind of stretch out my trigger zone. So hey, okay, look here, it covers all of the yellow area. So on the pink cube, we will run into it, but on the yellow cube, we run into the zone. So what I'm going to do is on both of these, I'm going to give them a tag. I'm just going to tag them as box. And let's put a script on the player. So we'll put a script that's like sliders versus triggers. And so if you remember, colliders have three functions that you can call when you collide with them. There's the on collision enter, on collision stay, and on collision exit. Trigger zones have exactly the same thing, but it's on trigger enter, on trigger stay, and on trigger exit. So if we start with on collision enter, we can say if we hit something that is tagged as box, then we can debug. And this code will look very, very similar for the trigger. So we have on trigger enter here. And instead of collision, it's collider, slightly different wording here, but we can do the same exact thing. So if other dot game object dot tag equals box, we can say I'm in the zone. Okay, so very, very similar, just on trigger as opposed to on collision. So if I save this, open up my console, and if I touch the pink box, it says I hit the box, and if I go into the yellow zone, it says I hit, oops, you know what, I did not turn this into a trigger. Something good to do. Let's try that again. There we go, I'm in the yellow zone. So don't forget to turn a trigger into a trigger. Very important. All right, we'll do a little bit more complex interaction in the next video.